flirting with an actress, and she was raptured when she was captured by the cameras. Getting dry humped in skiddies on a dirty mattress, getting amorous in the back of a stolen Astera. I'm like a dirty church pastor, I'm randier than the old dirty bastard. The holy light shining out of my analysis lights the way for actors and amateurs who are as moral as laughing gas canisters in a German holiday camp for the Hanukkah. Like a commodity bank for Dracula, when the all-girl dormitory period scene is a chronically cramped bonanza, as the Eclipse cast are licking popsicles like a novelty vamp attraction in a comedy wank for bachelors. Does an infinite universe fit into a Big Bang singularity? And if it does, an infinite universe fits into an actor's personality. And what's the perfect entrance acrobatically? No, not cabaret theatrically, but naked, defying gravity with flattery. Go, go, gadget dick, oopsie, forgot to charge the battery. Ghostwriting work is shattering. I'm getting tired like Michelin. My head's spinning like an exorcist on Ritalin, and it's finicky. My kung fu style is like a palsy patient trying to stimulate clitorally, and I'm dribbling like I'm trained by the best at village idiocy. And it's viscerally, in a hotel hell blue light examination, I'm seeing psychedelic elephants in a quantum rape Oscar nomination. According to my doctor, the real world is the hallucination, including the steel as he earns remuneration and uses my tears to lube his anus. British food and its cooking flavours. Economy sausages are full of more sperm than Skittish Luke for the bookie's favourites. Where I'm spitting diamonds so it's not looking blatant for the Arab agents that I'm creating value ratings of Alcatraz. With a spitting bucket and a Back to the Future almanac.
Reporting to the Plutonian Moon people! 001. These descriptions are not meant to offend any culture nor race, and are just a depiction of the human race. Humanoid males, specifically the skin-headed butting animals, have heavily pronounced foreheads, evolutionarily adapted for butting problems from their habitat. These subtype humanoids have become stuck on a problem called racism, where the problem that race cannot be changed ultimately leads to larger butting groups clashing, escalating problems, and escalating butting incidents. A large proportion of humanoid species have become heavily dependent on rotten genital slimes and moulds. Clearance is required for the infinite time and space calculations to be entered into the humanoid internet mainframe matrices. May they praise Kat Denning's creamy nozzles. Long live the Plutonian moon lizards! Caution is advised to infiltrate the humanoid civilization, as highly evolved alien civilizations may be mistaken for chickens. Depending on the Plutonian's deliciousness, it may cause an intergalactic planetary war, as the clearly philosophical nature of pigs and their amazing ability to calculate quantum physics have still not been discovered by the humans. The worry is that the humanoids do not ever overcome the dilemma by creating dyed naturally meat and become conquered by the overlord lizards, locally called Tyrannosaurus Rex, and become fat little human snack portions, which would be a serious problem, as the ultimate conclusion to beauty and its perfection in evolution has been fulfilled in female humanoids, specifically lactresses. Long live the creamy nozzles! May the humanoids praise the organic nozzle-based food as the secret to eternal youth! The Scientologists closest to the discovery of the Plutonian moon lizard civilizations have nasty subgroups that are trying to implant brainwashing devices into as many publicly influential people as possible, trying to create a prosthetic a prophetic conspiracy based on the paradoxes of science in the 21st century. Countering the science nonsense with more nonsense is a device created by the Plutonians used to discombobulate the Scientologists. It is a vehicle waste disposal system called the compartmentalized spurting nozzle. Well, eventually the Scientologist technique of the cult lead the Scientologists to be susceptible to ventriloquist exorcism subliminal prompts, and they shall wear tinfoil hats, run around in the rain screaming at their own thoughts, allegedly in a panic of indecency. Report ending Saturday the 20th of August 2016 from the last of the line of David in the British Isles Division. Over!
What was that? An exhibition? We need emotional content. Try it. I said emotional content, not anger. Now try again. With me. Let me think. Don't think. Feel. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all the heavens below. Do you understand? Never take your eyes off your opponent.
The 1-inch punch. Well, I haven't got any more laminated flooring.
Hey, I tell you what I'm gonna give you, Snakes. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
We are being invaded! Aliens are going to eat your brain! Aliens are gonna eat your brain! Aliens! Aliens! Space Force! Brain! Sexual tension! They traveled 1,000,000 light years through Space Force! Brain! Sexual tension!
Ladbrokes, will you get the chance to throw your life away on a long shot? Buy into the knocks, buy into the plots, and feel the buzz of pointless failure. Come and join the fun. Throw away your life savings and your wife's beauty for only 2 to 1 that you'll survive the cancer of mug alcoholism. Ladbrokes, for mugs that can never win the World Cup.
Your imminent failure, is that the conclusion to the enlightened questions? Or is that so conveniently ignored? Conveniently ignored like my predictions of the economic crisis and exactly how it would happen 10 years ago. The only enlightenment in the lifetime of the learning disabled dreams of information theft is how they talk. No more the screeching barks of stupid children, but the regurgitating tones of self-confidence and strained teenage constipation woven into some warped expression of their attractiveness and allurement. The 5:15 turd train to Fartford will be arriving at the speed of sound 10 years too late and exiting the tunnel of Mendog's Mouth at 4:15. Sorry about the delays and any inconvenience. No refunds available. The Mendogs, or the 666 Antichrists of rock and roll. A consequence to 666 in a more modern signification is 2/3. 2/3 of Homer's body mass is fat, and 2/3 of the Democratic vote is usually winning. The 666 number of the half-beast, half-man, or modern Britain's brain-damaged population from alcohol, narcotics and medical side effects, very, very similar to Homer's mental difficulties, leads the leaders into a contemporization of the major issues facing relative deprivation and en masse social personality disorders. Though the most historically abominable failure in the history of mankind, it may have been just enough to have deterred you from your ignorant missions of self-destruction and infamy. Seemingly not the village idiots, who are primarily reinforced with sugary intake over time whilst plotting. It has them programmed like infected vermin rats pressing the mobile phone button for that lump of cheese, plotting like mini dictatorships of personality disordered ugliness that festers at the anal passage of mankind like an untreated hemorrhoid caused by the giant amount of pure crap being forced out of popularity contests in nowhere places. That's it, little potential drug dealing gangsters. Season your brain developmental problems perfectly. The Hannibal Lecter's 3 o'clock pulsating lunchtime snack in the prison yard. That's it, little mini rappers shouting foreign self-inflicted incompetent semantics at each other in the fight to the death to see who can fail at life the most.
Yeah, I got one question, man. Tell me who next. This nigga salt like a nigga who just getting the best. See, I'm the best, man. I did it. Yeah. See, I'ma let you know who the best by the hour. This like Rosie O'Donnell at a bisexual bridal shower. It ain't nothing to me, man. I keep it for real. Look at this dental, man, with dental the grill. See, I'm the best. I told you that. This dude like that, he ran in front of the cat. Now I messed up, but I'ma stay on top. They told me, man, but you know, I'm never gonna flop. Look at this dude, he need to stay in the shade. Ain't no wonder why he came out. He already in the gay parade. I told you, man, I got you. Roasted like ever. You don't know, but my rhymes, they straight up clever. So you step down off the pedestal. I'm the best, man. You need to go to the fucking dental.
Dribbling retarded slim shape.
Dribbling retarded slim shape.
Dribbling retarded slim shape.
What did you want?
Dribbling retarded slim shape.
Dribbling retarded slim shape.
Dribbling retarded slim shape.
Come on, you bastards! Protect your miserable social positions! Come on! The truth is too much for you to handle. You can't face the embarrassment and the humiliation. So you're a disaster area. And this probably also is conveniently ignored as well. Ignored like the solutions to the economic crisis which I discovered 5 years ago. No, you are the biggest failures in mankind histories, not once, but now twice. Is this not enough for you?
The 5:15 turn train to Fartsford looks like it's going to be 2 years early to make up for the earlier decade's losses. Can the souls of the dead stand back? Sorry about the delay. Do not leave any dusty, dry skeletons unattended, please. Just to clarify that I have the solution, it is judiciary compensation value through community service in contracted work paid back to the government, proportionally covering exact costs of each of the loans. So in these little pockets of time, the electrical and neural synapses of our experiences will be trapped in these pockets for infinity. Oh yes, the enormous, spanning, never-ending ride of the evolution of thought. At the golden pillars entering the halls of fame, your names will be etched as the kings of the village idiots, the greatest losers of all time. Conclusion enough for now, as your exit from the tale.
Well, hi. It's not the end yet. It's basically an amateur film. This is an amateur film that I produced a couple of years ago. What I'm trying to do is delete about an hour's worth of footage in the middle of it because it was rubbish, and essentially just link the whole thing together, because this is what the basis of the film was supposed to be about, which is about a film called The Time Daemon, Damien 6, and it's a poem which combines quantum physics, human psychology, computer programming psychology and philosophy together to try and find a link between religion and science, in some sense, to show a more profound existence for mankind in the universe. And I'll read it now anyway, so we can link to the next bit. In a polarity of galaxies expanding exponentially, in an analogy of man existentially as mentally and actuality dimensionally, as a logic entity in time perceptivity, with a susceptivity to suppressed nervous system reversing the existence of a moment's persistence of motion under the conditions of tonics and alcoholic potions, as a logic diagnosis of the iconic to conscious process as the essence of expression of time perception in the nervous system's suppression is an exception to time relativity, as a suppression of the implicit speed in an opposite polarity to the symmetry of the galaxies, to mathematically increase the computational capacity and increase the actuality of a moment. This is an omen of a compressed moment expressed in real time but converted to minute time as to minus. What is the profound enlightening point to existence of mankind in our universe? As ideas that can change the fate of a planet and the future of a species, whether good ideas or bad ideas like the economic crash. As inherent ideas of universal stages of intelligent life evolution that can speed up the shifts in civilizational paradigms of existence. Ideas such as mastery of the genetic modification and inhibition of decay of the genome, or counteracting superinflation with macro-quantitative easing. To understand what we are, as psychology of the brain, and that in turn as psychology and computer programming, in philosophies and quantum physics, to find a profound link between religion and our history, and science, which is not some sort of cult scam. When you use the time algorithm of life's perception of time, you inverse its capacity and its exclusion from time and space and time relativity, and place this equation in a galactic and planetary sized AI capacity of consciousness, we mankind become gods. As a key that unlocks and changes the rules of physics itself. We may live and we may die, but ultimately, if we have existed, we have always existed forever. So as you take that last breath, you will leap into infinity.
somebody go past the window? Somebody just went past that window, downwards. Oh. Another one. Another one just went past, downwards. What? 2 people have just fallen past that window. Fine. Look, 2 people, 3 people have just fallen past that window. Must be a board meeting. Oh, yeah. That was Wilkins of Finance. No, that was Robertson. Wilkins was Robertson. Wilkins was Robertson. That was Wilkins. Oh, yeah. Be Parkinson next. Bet you it won't. How much? What? How much do you bet it won't? £5? Yeah, all right. Right, done, you're on. Parkinson next. Come on, Parky.
Don't be silly, Parky.
Come on, Parky.
Don't be stupid, man.
Come on.
Hello, my name's Patrick James Guilfoyle, and I've been doing research into celebrity culture. And I reckon it's self-obsession and people talking about themselves and how great they are all day. Now, if a person portrays butt trauma as a swear word in abnormal comments, and then tries describing conforming to this abnormality as being normal in popular culture, in other words, the guy's got to flirt with disgusting perverts all day to make a fucking living, the egomania and the self-obsession that is a big part of celebrity culture is described in my following performance. Oh man, I'm so fucking sexy. Yeah, I'm great. Me. Oh, me. Fuck yeah. Me.
Real people, real hair loss, real numpties.
I was really concerned about losing my hair because I'm an actor, and I thought, going to auditions, how am I going to cope?
I decided to do something about hair loss, pure and simple, for confidence. Now that I have a full head of hair, I definitely go through the same procedure.
I'm proud to say that, yeah, I've used Advanced Hair Studio and it's worked for me.
Like these guys, it's the best thing I've done.
Use Advanced Hair Studio on your wife's face and sell it to a circus. Real people, real hair loss, real numpties.
Space Federation is being terrorized. Because full death of a first being memorized and a second being energized, the captain realized was the cause of the Romulan genocide. Well, if it breathes oxygen, the gender by occupants of the Starship Enterprise's populace have ocular tenderized, mesmerized with the Kamito exercises and the preposterous sexual cross-species crisis. From subtype human-dominant gene globulins that comprises sex lube for test tube ovulants, Data's naivety then kills a gay Romulan, caused by Data's high voltage incontinence on the Romulan. And Data's incompetence caused the Kamito conference amongst the Enterprise's occupants of a cross-species sexual diseases causing the consciousness of a fart cloud modulus. And in an algorithm of cognizance, it created a space-time redonkulus. It's like a supercomputer from the future in your brain frequencies, like a tumor router in a feud between John Connor sequences and a fourth-dimensional scheme of theses. In the polarity of galaxies expanding exponentially, essentially this is an analogy of man existentially, as mentally and actuality dimensionally, in the iconic memory and logic entity of time perceptivity, and essentially susceptivity of the nervous system, reversing the existence of a moment's persistence of motion under the conditions of alcoholic potions. A logic diagnosis of the iconic to conscious process, bending the present and sending the essence of expression of time perception in an exception to time relativity, as an impression of the implicit speed, suspended an entity in a separate polarity from the galaxies to metaphysically and mathematically increase the computational capacity, and increase the actuality of a moment, an omen of a compressed moment expressed in real time but converted to minute time as to minus, to the finest state. In art. How do I explain how it got into a fart? Well, if time is in deceleration, with light's acceleration, it creates a time variation that variates space and time relation, thus the observation of different physical laws. And at a pinnacle score of giant calculation, it creates a physical door to the realm of creation. And a fart smell and an Intel dual core, an arse gel for genetic alien responses, made an arse cell with alien conscience. And at the size of Uranus, it passed through the realm of creation into the salience of your conscious. She smoked date rape and talked nonsense.
Nigel Farage's smile looks like he's taking a rectal examination. In Aryan nations, there's a spectacle of genital agitation that can be seen in the subspecies that headbutts problems for correctional aggravation of the perceptual imagination, of habitats having habits of crack addicts that agitate their genital agitation, as it blags rabid slag jabber in the electoral ramifications. There's genetical variations of the hairy Asians, all these scary Aryan faces. This increases aggressive butting when impossible problems can't change, like the perception of races. This crazy talk led to World War II, and since then the spectral radiation of your hallucinations, it creates a temporal gate into the fate calculations, the technical way in which the election races. Enjoy Brexit, the nutritional breakfast biscuit designed to solidate the belly of the beast. So what it excretes is a concrete jungle. So get naked, only wear wellies on your feet and talk like Zippy and Bungle, as you get hand jobs from Sooty in the broom cupboard fumble. Ron L. Hubbard's cult of uncle, putting implants in the jumbled up mind that gets buggered by the tumbling price by the fungal mucus of the humble alpaca. 1,000 masturbating hackers waiting for a smile. Can you masticate with crackers as they applicate their knackers and procrastinate in style? In the jabbering black talk chatter, the chatter that mostly matters is the blood class, or kind of like a heavy menstrual splatter. But back to the temporal matter, and the commendable manner, and amendable balance, and dependable balance on how the ends are all changing. The fate-changing speculation, or the face-changing rectal aching, because the bleating-ass trauma of the chemical-taking celebrity culture sounds like large constipation, has caused complications in the songs sent into places in space about marital obligations. When placed in a voice box of bespoke impatience, where a swift kick in the anus for marital consummation is worse than a slime blob anus. As a tentative and sensitive lover that's made of high alcohol concentration, when you send 3D printer files of orgy machines into the outer observations, aliens will visit and Nigel Farage will get drunk on their racial status. But anyway, back to the observations of fate. This is my debate. The ability to adapt with an infinite creative potential for a crisis resolution. That's our constitution. And in the analytics that have caused analitis in the belly of the beast climate, but for the private institutions, I'm just the pirate in the pilot of the primetime amusement, providing migrant mileage in the Mile High movement.
A poem by Patrick James Guilfoyle on the 27th of the 6th, 2016. If a paradox of reality is an attributional calamity in a feud of professionality, a confusion in a banality when producing the imaginings of amusement and anarchy, they collude within its fantasy in the illusions of insanity as they elude within the imagination the truth of professionality in city's locality. To ignore me proves ignorance as a choice. Through the impotence of noise is this coincidence to the voice that claims the influence of points of increments, like the inference of voice and the impetus to destroy. Obsessive stalking and noise pollution, caught in the boy lessons of talking and voice illusions as an obsession of stalking to exploit opportunism, without the highest resolve to lose quality control in the anomalies that revolt against my comedy and insults, against my autonomy and soul, against my property getting sold without me being properly told. A cacophony of monopolies of unsolicited monotony, eliciting scripted proficiency from profiting, subsisting prolifically in these colonies in a deficiency in psychology, where critically the commodity is analytically as policy on politically and autocracy in bad prognosis. But the derogatory exposes sci-fantasy, a psychosis, truth and insanity, a psychosis, performance and reality as psychosis, and they provoke this, being attribution to the redundant, where communities are producing going nowhere in abundance.
Springtown Lake in the red and white checks. William Henry is handy, so too mischievous Max Burbank is drifted behind the leaders in a red cap towards the outside stowaway. Magic top of the game. Then the pink jacket is out wide as well. The widest runner early on is Wagarev. Just inside him is Royal Vacation and LeBroy. They are tracked by River Frost in a white cap as they jump the second. Springtown Lake over in front and well bunched together behind. Diamond King very badly hampered, and the faller was Dusky Legend.
What's populism? The common identity of modern contemporary optimism? Or the majority of popularity is inequality's totality as the cost of living? in a 9-to-5 daydream. And from time to time you wake and see the rest of your life is in a money trap. It's funny that, if I invest in the right cunning act, I'm coming back. Not trapped in a system, just hacked in the existence of the persistence of mistakes by the competition. As unsolicited piss takes are the wrong decisions that I disclaim as the hot position of populism. Prime time repeats of geriatrics doing acrobatics of automatic, as most of the shows have disappeared in attics of weird queers and fanatics. I'm like the Rain Man, I put the casinos in a panic. Give me a system, I can crack it. From physics to genetics to lyric aesthetics, like an abstract message, as the skeptics languish and mass-produced language for adolescent anguish, as I manifest in bandwidths of underground propagandas. As the anarchist from my antics is aimed at the abacus and semantics, as the aspect of an antagonist that creates an abject paralysis in the fallacy of their analysis, in their fake applause and fake popularity, like burning bushes to Moses. It's all just a bit of a doctor's analogy of his vanity and some kind of neurosis on the individuality, like it's an abnormality and diagnosis. That's why there's bad prognosis on the learning process. Being fed more sedatives with finger painting classes for the cleverest. Go and speak to your therapist. Hug sex offenders, hug terrorists, hug nonces as the communities benefit from the incredulence of your conscience. Being fed more sedatives so you're not conscious of the relevance of monsters who respond by being merited to the inherent mess of terrorists and chaotic heretics. Like this nonsense is an insult to our intelligence. The real risk to people is military leverage against the feeble. When endeavouring to survive as peaceful, we need our wits and intelligent minds, or become so stupid we don't see the end of all intelligent life. The impediment of being trapped on the value of benefit is no more than medical experiments, as the leverage of jobs worth problem child severance, which is the therapist, the master of the stupid or broken intelligence, who's never the cleverest in a room trying to understand the evidence, as the residents use edited messages when they're settling the conduct based on negligence as the edifice of how deep is their togetherness, digging a grave to the Americas, like Houdini, they forgot where they buried ya. Copyright is an indicator to its own professional quality, a bit like congressional policies, and not the obsessions of deceptionists on some kind of holiday. Like smacking around a doppelganger of holidays, on an awful banger with a horror face about some dickhead faggots on the front page of Model Glamour. Populism should be about proper talent, and not date rape barons trying to flood fake manners with dud tape parrots. Monstrous personalities and sex scandal vulgarity, trying to define the social conscience of popularity, trying to change the construct of commonality in methodology so the conduct in reality is the philosophy of their corrupt vanity. The authorities are the product of the calamities of a thin line between abuse historically and the confused epidemiology of being disillusioned misogyny that tries to confuse the autonomy in the euphoric affliction as if we are fed drugs to elude the monotony of the euphoric addiction to populism and the rhetoric contradictions. Take some sedatives for your clarity or popularity of obscene insanity, like escapism to freedom, escapism back to the cause, back to the calamity, like doomsday devices to protect humanity, like the wasteful rich who don't invest in the poor and the talented, like all the bullshit lies have turned us to anarchists. So what does this say about our lives and what we manifest? To the average guy in the analysis of fixed odds, more like fixed results with shit jobs and bitch insults from stitch mobs.
How you make my sister pregnant 19 times just from dancing? I'm prematurely ejaculate. I'll make you prematurely ejaculate when I kick you in your ass.
writing. This is gonna sting like a Scottish rebel's ring, escaping through nettles. I'm like a devil in a dug-in enemy, the rebel that revels in your reverie to meddle with your destiny. Like gazing spacesuits on ecstasy, dancing to the melody that explains a probing rectally like it's a felony. Eclectically, I readily come correct with what contextually is perfect in a melody. Technically perfect, effectively try to disconnect you from your crisis of your identity, while sexually your abject effects about rectums respectively. It's like drug-induced remedies that's infected the electrics of your memory. Whilst being confused sexually, these dudes cruising their gesturing in a disillusioned delusioning and they're pestering sexually. They need a vasectomy. Aphrodisiacs and narcotics, dizzy crackheads and what's directly associated with the psychotic, like a sexual psychosis under hypnotics, where a dosage of dope is a diagnostic of the optics, having a subconscious cogence with the erotic, like emotions of pop-sick neurotic notions of moronic neurosis that's provoked by what's exposed by the dopest smiles of the hostess. It's provoked by blokes that think they're having a magic moment, and I'll expose this. You'd have sex with the comatose, having epileptic fits and a death throes. So take a nose sniff and take off her clothes, where your yes and no is switched, and your sick twisted code with your electrode node and your hose clip. The transferal patterns that electrical frequencies can accumulatively pass through any surface known to man, making that surface an organ-disrupting electrode signal from your TV, radio, light bulb, toaster, or neighboring radio antenna. To get rid of the bad thoughts before they come, fire a disarmed gun at your head in the mirror whilst having fun with iller rhymes and your favourite killer. Drill a hole to feel the stress, fill a hole in your molar with steel mesh, and when you feel fresh and able to express something other than repressed homosexual duress, take a breath as this ghost writing tailors for the best. You're a perceptual illusion of sexual confusion in your own delusion. You're a peripheral intrusion in the exceptional amusement of a clitoral movement. You're just a loon that's been seduced by iconic coups of absolute attunement with the beaut. Is it cute, my little skin flute? My inmate over enlarged right arm causing right angle penis designed perfectly for a scrunchie. Punch me, punch me, punch me, please, it'll make me hunky. Oedipus complex and Freud, burning up like I'm paranoid, buoyed off and annoyed, trying to reel McCoy, the voice of therapy. Get annoyed with the telepathy by the boys in blue in your territory, unethically getting your heresies in their cranial telemetry from your enemies. Listen to the therapy and the melody. Banging a plank of wood on the head before you spend your load could induce a 12-hour male multiple orgasm and keep a fresh, clean mind from the bad thoughts. If you haven't looked at your wife in the eyes for 2 years because of painful ass stuff, aim for the bathroom door whilst masturbating.